topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Florida. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show. Our 16th year. I cannot believe it. Time flies when you're having a great time. So a little inside story. So I have this huge calendar of all of our shows. And when the day is gone, in other words, we're going to have 3 shows that day, meaning we have no more openings. I circle it. But on the last Monday of every month, I put a heart on it. And the reason why I do that is I love doing this show with the most incredible attorney when it comes to estate planning. I know it sounds like I'm sucking up, but I'm really not. I love doing this show with her. One of the sweetest, most intelligent attorneys I've ever spoken to. Welcome, attorney Debbie Baker.
My gosh, you so embarrass me when you do that. I love it. Hey. Don't stop.
Yeah, right. No, I got on the last Monday of the month at 9:00. I've got a big heart on there.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't even know why I do it. I don't need to be reminded. We've been doing the show for so long. But I love doing the show with you. And we are in a part of the country where we have an older demographic, and estate planning is so important. But I think about, Debbie, the people that pass away suddenly. And I always wonder, since I've been doing your show, God, did they have a plan put together? And you hear about people who didn't even have a will. So today's show, I'm going to talk to Debbie about wills and trust and the importance of having a plan. Debbie, tell people about London Baker Law, first of all.
Okay. London Baker Law has been around for not quite 10 years. October 5th, it'll be 10 years exactly. And it is the result of the walk of faith. I went to law school as a walk of faith. God told me to go to law school. And I have been so moved in the last, well, probably once a week, but just knowingly in the last few weeks of what a great choice it was to tell me to go to law school for the service I've been able, hardly perfect service, imperfect service for sure, but the service that my education offers people, whether or not they work with me, and becoming a lawyer, later in life, I'm not attached to whether people work with me. I'm attached to people getting taken care of, so I can talk to people from out of state. Can't advise them because I don't know their state law. I can talk to people in other parts of Florida who want to work with somebody who lives closer to them, which makes all the sense in the world. But it's such a blessing to be able to be of service. And Rebel and I were talking a little bit before. Rebel is the producer, for those of you who don't know.
The greatest producer.
The great, and she puts in much longer hours than I would have. I thought this was a piece of cake kind of job. So anyway, she told me the hours she puts in. And no offense, Rebel, that a piece of cake. But and we were talking about, well, in her first life, because she's probably a lot younger than me. But in my past life, we were both life coaches, helping people make difficult decisions and choices and stuff like that. And I gave it up willingly and grudgingly because I love it and I still miss it. And the legal profession allows me to do a lot of it. Just, just help people decide who they're going to choose or which way they're going to go. But anyway, so London Baker Law is all about that. And we do wills and we do trusts and we do probate and we do elder law. And it's all with the idea of care for you today and your loved ones tomorrow. And how can we help? So that's London Baker Law.
I want to emphasize something, and you don't have to give me exact age, but tell people approximately what age were you when you decided to become an attorney?
Oh my gosh. So, wow. I'm going to go public. Okay. Well, I was in a category. I was in the 55 to 75 category. When you get demographics, that's a category. So I was in that category when I started law school.
So, and I've always told you that my Sophia has always said, I always wanted to become an attorney. There's so many people who think that, oh, I'm too old to become a doctor or become a lawyer. It's too late in life for me, but that's what my true dream was. You actually did it.
I did it.
And I want people to know you can still do it.
Yeah, I mean, it helped. It truly helped me have God as the pride, telling me to go to law school. And it's hard to watch people who have dreams that are still attainable, physically, like maybe you won't play in the NBA or, you won't weigh 120 pounds again and you're not going to be an Olympic swimmer. Okay. But to just throw in the towel because because the world tells you you're too old. I've said this before. People have said to me, was it harder to study because you were older? I said, well, I can't clone myself, so I can't answer that question. But right. I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. I was there to learn and have fun. And I recommend you go to school when you're older, even for undergraduate work, unless you're committed to doing something, even if you change your mind, because you're not there to necessarily get A's. You're there because you want to learn. And so, and not as cowed by the grades you get or things around you. But it was great to go back to school when I was older because I wasn't cowed by those things. I went to learn and have fun and promised to never leave anything on the table. And if I left every exam knowing I left nothing on the table, then I wasn't going to be thrilled with my results. And I was going to be okay with my results because I did the best I could. So I did the best I could. So yeah.
Debbie, I know you're like me. The Lord is so important to you. And I got to tell you, I look at all the different areas of law, and estate planning with your faith was probably the best and most important area of law to go into.
Well, it was the one that left me, I don't know, the one that left me, Steve. I mean, people encouraged me to go into advocacy and litigation and stuff like that. And certainly all those years ago, I could have a quick fire. I'm kind of a ready, fire, aim person. So I could have a pretty quick temper and I take sides pretty easily. So I didn't want to be in a situation in litigation where I was going to take sides. I learned I wasn't a great mediator because I was going to take the underdog side. And that wasn't my job. So estate planning and probate and all those are areas where I can bring my faith and my service and my compassion to a family or to an individual to walk them through a process that can be confusing and scary and overwhelming and help them be okay with it. You know, you and I have talked about, I was told that I was the probate attorney that made probate fun. Well, I'm really committed that if we can laugh, even at the silliness of things, then we'll get through things faster and we can see the end to things. And we can also, I've learned in this world of being older, is there are times when clients have been very legitimately frustrated with me. I mean, they have. And I no longer get defensive about it. It's hard, you know, it's hard sometimes not to be defensive, but that's not the idea. The idea is to get them taken care of. So if the goal is to get them taken care of, then we get them taken care of. And people have appreciated that. People have
Absolutely.
appreciated it. Yeah. And when they don't appreciate
So,
it, I can't help it. I can't help it.
so as an attorney,
Uh,
what's your perspective on like the most important thing a person can do when it comes to estate planning?
do it. Decide to do it. You know, we get it off your list of things to do, and get it done. So is if you don't know who to call, this is a great place to ask people you know and trust. And I've come to believe that it's great if you ask for an estate planning attorney and at least two people give you the same name, because the two people are very different. So their perceptions of that attorney will be very different. So that's the first place to start, is to get started. And then it's to, with your spouse or by yourself, figure out what you want to accomplish by doing it. Is it providing for your grandchildren? Is it providing, seriously, you and I have talked about this. I mean, you and Sophia have set up some kind of thing where you don't have children and you have animals, and we'll assume you'll have animals until you pass. So who's going to take care of your animals? That's a really big consideration. So you figure out the most important thing is the most important thing is to decide to do it, and then the next important thing is to find the person you're going to trust, revealing yourself to about how much you have or how much you don't have, what you want, what you don't want. I don't want my children to get anything. That's a big decision to make and a big thing to share with somebody. And you have to be sure that they'll keep your confidence about that. And then after that, the paperwork gets pretty easy because it's just the result of your decision to move forward.
No, you had a local national person from the Tampa area just pass away, Hulk Hogan.
Right. Hulk Hogan. Right.
And boy, I got to tell you, there's more about his estate planning than all the success he had between him and his daughter and his son and ex-wife. I mean, there is a lot on there about his estate planning and how he wanted it done. Um, but you know what I've learned is we never know when our last day on earth is.
Oh, we sure
And
don't.
I know people wait till the last minute. It is so important for even just a will or a trust. Tell people about, there's a lot of people who don't even understand what a will is.
So a last will and testament is the document that you do that goes into effect after you die. And you and I've talked about this. People call and say, "I just need a will," and um, and they're wrong. They're wrong because the other documents of the basic estate plan, your power of attorney and your healthcare surrogate and your living will, those are all relevant while you're still living. And people say, "Well, so and so will take care of it, or so and so will do it." Spouses can step in for each other in health situations. So you and Sophia are married. That works. You're not married. It doesn't work without you giving each other the right to talk to doctors. People don't understand that, and there's no reason they should, because it's obvious. You've been together for 25 years. Why wouldn't somebody talk to you? Well, because they shouldn't. So people don't just need a will, they need the whole plan. And I've had clients recently where I've said, listen, let's do those documents that will work for you now, and we'll do the will later. If you're not willing, it'll be more expensive if you do a piecemeal. So, I mean, that's one thing, just from an expense point. Makes much more sense to do it as a package than to do it piecemeal. But if you're adamant about doing a piecemeal, we can do a power of attorney and your healthcare directives, and at least you're taken care of for the moment. Somebody can go to your bank, somebody can talk to your doctor. The will is for after the fact. So you don't just need a will. And the question comes from people not knowing. And just like if you were trying to teach somebody the radio business who didn't know anything about it, or I'm trying to teach somebody about estate planning, it's not that they're stupid. There's no reason for them to know. And they listen. Oh, the other thing somebody should know if they say they only need a will is that they think it's too expensive and they have no frame of reference. And we've talked about this many times. So I'm going out to buy my first big screen TV, and I've never bought one before. And I'm the first one. I'm an early adapter, and I'm the first one in my group who's going to buy one. And somebody tells me, I don't know what they cost now, but like a few years ago, they're going to tell me it's going to cost $700, and I freak out, right? Because I've never paid more than $249 for a TV in my life, right? Well, then I do some comparison shopping, and I find out, well, $700 is the top end of the range, but it's certainly not expensive in light of everything else. So, again, people talk to their friends. What did you pay? Well, I tell them I paid $1,000 to get me a basic plan. You tell them you paid $500 and you just got a will, but they take that $500 and they extrapolate it to mean it's going to be everything, and they have no frame of reference. So you don't just need a will. I mean, if you're on your deathbed, actually, you need your healthcare directives because you want to tell somebody how you want to die, and you need a will because you've got things that you need to allocate and your deathbed literally, and there's no time to do a lot of planning and all that. So you just go do the will and put yourself in probate, but at least you'll have put your wishes on paper. You know,
I don't have a will, Debbie.
You don't have a will, or you can't find one, then you wind up in a probate court, wherever you are, because you don't have anything that says who's supposed to manage the estate. So, I mean, if you wanted to just do a will just to say that Steve O is going to manage my estate, and that you wanted that for your peace of mind, that's better than having nothing. Because I had nothing, and I don't want any of my brothers or my husband anywhere near managing my estate. Then at least I've named you. But if you don't have a will, it goes to probate. And I've got 3 or 4 now where people are convinced there was a will, and I have no idea if there was or there wasn't, but they couldn't find it. So then they wind up filing what they call intestate, and it's expensive and it's hard and it's longer than it need be, and wills make things easier.
You know, one of the first things you told me our first time we spoke, and I'll never forget your words, is you said, I want to keep people out of probate. Now, probate gets very expensive. And you know, you make your living as a lawyer, but to hear a lawyer say, I want to keep you out of probate.
Yeah.
Wow, that just blew me away when you said that.
Yeah. Probate's, yeah. It's hard on everybody. It's hard. It's just hard.
So how do you as an attorney assist people in making, you know, the proper assessment of their estate and making like the best plan for themselves?
A lot of it's gauged on children, minor children, or grandchildren. We've talked about this before. I generally recommend a trust if you've got minor children or grandchildren, because you want to be sure that whatever you want to leave to a child, which would go naturally to their children if they predecease, you set up a strategy for that. It's based upon what people want. I have colleagues who pretty much just do trusts because then they've covered bases. if you and Sophia showed up in my office and you showed me everything you owned, and do you own your apartment, Steve, or do you rent it? Do you own it? Right?
Yeah.
You own it. Okay. So again, if you own a home, it becomes a different thing. So you show up with like X number of dollars in assets, and you have some real property, and you know exactly how you want it to go. And everybody in your world right now is healthy, and you don't need any, like a supplemental needs trust. You're not looking at somebody who's going to need government benefits anytime soon or anything like that, or you don't have a disabled grandchild. I mean, I have a client right now who's got a grandchild who's got MS. He's very young. I think he's got MS, but he's got one of those neuromuscular degenerative diseases, and they didn't want to do a special needs trust because they're not sure he'll need it. That's fine. We can set it up like as a contingent. I personally would have had them do the trust just to have it in place, but they chose not to because it is a grandchild. So it's just each one is different. I mean, they have basic components. If you don't have the young children, and if you don't want to see that people get money spread out over time, a basic will, power of attorney, beneficiary designations, we've talked about that countless times. If you've got your beneficiary designations in place, that will help you often. And then secondary beneficiary designation. So if I make you and Sophia my primary beneficiaries, okay, I want secondary beneficiaries. So God forbid you predecease me. I've got somebody named after you and somebody named after Sophia. So it doesn't have to go into probate to try to find the people I wanted it to get to. People don't understand that. They don't know that. That's part of the coaching and the conversation.
We just got the 1 minute. I can't believe the show went by so fast.
Is that what her countdown means?
Yeah.
Well done, Rebel.
We have a Texas show after this one. Tell people how they can reach you, Debbie.
Okay. 813-586-1332. For those watching, it's scrolling across the screen. I'm in Tampa, but I'll talk to anybody from anywhere if I can help. And the email address is Deb Baker, DEBBAR at londonbakerlaw.com. The website is londonbakerlaw.com. And Rebel, this went much too fast. You need to give us more time. I keep thinking I get half an hour and you give us 23 minutes.
Hey, the good news is you're going to be back with us again next month. And I got to tell you, God bless you, Debbie Baker.
Thanks.
We love having you on the show.
Okay, I appreciate it.
We'll see you next month.
Okay, and she gave me this great. Okay. Thanks a lot, Steve. Bye, Rebel.
Thank you. And we'll be back with more.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.